Hey, this video is going to be about my first O.B.E or astral projection, or I don't really know what to call it, but let's go. So this happened on July 7th, 2014. It was around 1 o'clock, 1:10 when I was really into it. But basically I had been at my girlfriend's house, chilling in her room, and she had gone to work or something like that, so she wasn't going to be back for a few hours. So I was just laying on the bed, and I decided that I wanted to intentionally go into an out-of-body experience or astral project. I had done some research on different methods and looked into things like forcing yourself into sleep paralysis. And sleep paralysis is kind of when you're partly awake, but you're not able to move your body. So that's what I was trying to do. So I laid on the bed and I relaxed my whole entire body. What I'll usually do is put my awareness on my feet, and then my legs, and then my hands and my arms, and then my mouth and my head, and kind of just going through every part of my body, relaxing it, releasing it, pretending like it almost dissolves or it isn't there. Basically, I was in sleep paralysis, and I just meditated for a really, really long time. And whenever I meditate, I close my eyes and I always see colors. Usually for me it's purple. Pretty much every time I meditate, I see swirling purple colors in my eyes. So I got to the point where I was really meditating. Like, I wasn't thinking, alright, I'm trying to meditate. No, I was in the meditative state. And then it kind of, I kind of crossed over. Since I was so comfortable and laying down, I fell asleep. So there's a definite distinction between being in deep meditation and being asleep. And I got to the point where I crossed over into sleep. But since it was daytime, I feel like that's what made it easier for me to get into a lucid dream, because I immediately went into a lucid dream. So I was in a city, and the city was completely empty. It was just me walking around exploring. But next to me there was a shadow, and the shadow was in the shape of a dog or a wolf, and the shape would morph from a dog or a wolf shape into the shape of a human. So I would look, and it would look like a dog or a wolf's shadow for 2 seconds, and then morph into the shadow of a human for 2 seconds, and go back and forth, back and forth. And I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be my shadow, or if it represented my spirit animal, or if it represented me. I wasn't sure. So after a while of exploring, I decided that I wanted to try to fly. So I went to jump up and fly, and right when that happened, I felt this, I don't know, this force pull me out of my body. Like, 1 second I was in the dream, that the next second when I jumped up to fly, it felt like the strongest, it didn't hurt, but it felt like the strongest force I've ever felt pull me. And it pulled me from, like, I felt from my chest out of my body. Now suddenly my vision was completely different. It was like I was looking through a blurry telescope, and the point of view I had was different from if I had been laying on the bed. That's how I definitely knew I was out of my body. So I had a wall. The bed is kind of next to the wall in the room. Wall was to my left. But I was seeing as though I was looking this way at the wall. And there was a dresser against the wall. But it was almost as if I was farther back in the room and I was looking in that direction, maybe a little bit tilted. And the proportions of everything in the room that I saw were kind of off and different. It was like a very, almost I'd use muddy kind of point of view. It was very weird. And I would see like the dresser tilted at an angle. It looked very far away, almost like, and not like I was down on the floor. It was more like I was up and far away. Like I was now at the edge of the room, close to the ceiling, or close to the mid wall, halfway up the wall, looking at that wall. I was only like this for maybe 10 seconds at most, and then I went right back into my body, and I was back in sleep paralysis, and I just wanted to get up and move, because I had just gotten back into my body, but I was stuck. I was really stuck. It's really it really sucks when you're trying to move your body and you can't. So I was looking down straight ahead, and I could see the laundry basket, and I started getting double vision. I saw two laundry baskets, and one was floating around the other. I'm not sure if that was because lack of oxygen or what. So I kept trying to move, trying to move my shoulders, trying to move my arms, something, try to move my legs, and then suddenly I turned my head. I turned my head from like the right to the left, and I could move again. The whole rest of my body followed suit. So it took me maybe a full 30 seconds. It felt more like a minute, but to be honest, it was probably more like 30 seconds of being able to try to move my body. And when I went back into my body, I was at least able to open my eyes. And then obviously I could see the normal point of view of what I would see if I was laying on the bed. And it was obviously different from when I was out of my body. I'm still not sure what exactly this was, but I think it's an O.B.E because I definitely felt pulled out of my body. And I was seeing from a totally different perspective. I hope you enjoyed my story. Subscribe if you want to see more, and Amori Paz.